Hello, Unity travelers, and welcome. Uh, this is part two of a series of UI Unity tutorial videos. Last video, if you want to check it out, is about canvases and what they do, what they are, how to work with them. This video is going to be about adding a background to your UI. Basically the first step of creating UI, and so let's get into it. So I'm going to select my canvas object that I had before, and I'm going to right-click it, again, UI, and let's add a panel. You can achieve the same effect with an image. Open, and I'll explain why in a second, but for this video, I'm going to use a panel, and let's just call this background. Okay, so you can see we've actually already got started to get this background now. If we look in the inspector at our background or panel object, you'll see it has an image component. This is why you could also just add an image object. It would work the same way. The image object, though, probably wouldn't resize to the entire canvas size. And in this case, we want a background, and so that's why we used a panel. So let's go through this image component so that you can change your background if you want to. So if you had a different image for your background for your UI, this is where you would select that different image. If I click on knob, you can see that it changed that background image to a knob, but I'm just going to leave it as background, the default one. And you can tint your background as well, but if you're using your own image instead of the default one that Unity provides, keep in mind that tinting may not look well with certain backgrounds. But with this default background, because it's already a solid color, tinting tends to work out fine. Actually, solid white specifically. If you notice, if I set this alpha value back to full, so that it's no longer transparent but completely opaque, you'll notice that the background image is basically all white. It's actually a little grayish. But anyways, I can add a tint however I want. This color wheel. For this series, since we're making a login page, let's do a blue tint for our background. And keep in mind, if your UI you wanted to be transparent, again, you just change this alpha value, and it will be able to show part of your game or part of your application behind it. But for this login page, we don't want it to be transparent at all, so we're going to make it completely opaque. Okay, and then the rest of these image components really aren't necessary to edit at all. We've already got a background. The last thing I want to go into, and I'll go into it a little bit because in my next video I'm actually going to go into anchors in general, but if for some reason your background is not covering the entire screen, like let's say it looks something like this, just click on this anchor button, switch to this arrows in all directions button in the bottom right, and then zero out all these values. And now you will have a background covering your entire screen. So in the next video, I'm going to go into anchors in general, how they work, what they're for, and that should help you. It's a nice foundation for you to work in UI. So yeah, check out my next video.